I'd never gotten standing ovations before.
Right.
Like I remember someone saying, Joe Coy gets standing ovations every time. I remember someone telling me that, and I was like, come on. And I saw him. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he murders.
and then I got one the first night I got it in Portland when I started the tour, and I was like, okay, because it's your first show, and I got a standing ovation when I got on stage.
Right.
And then when I got off, I got a standing ovation. I was like, okay, because it's my first show. They know it's my first show. They're happy for me. Second show, I got a standing ovation. I went, okay, it's because it's my first night. They're just really happy for me. And then in Seattle, I got one, and I was like, of course, because it's it's the first. And then when I didn't get one in Calgary, I was like, wait, you guys don't know that this is my first night? Yeah.
Fucking great, man.
I remember hearing guys could pander for them, could wait for it, like thank you, thank you,
just waiting till they get up. It's awesome.
How much touring do you do?
I go on the road, like just club circuit stuff. I mean, my daughter's only 3, so if I cannot go on the road, I won't. But I gotta. I mean, it's the only way to make money. But I mean, I'm gone like I'm going away almost every weekend until the end of March. So but it's all like the club circuit stuff. I don't
improvs, funny bones,
improvs. Yeah. How amazing is it for you? Like, because I'm at a point where like I sell okay tickets. I very rarely sell out, once in a while. But now to like be a sellout guy, it must be like amazing, right? Because that's all I want is just tickets. I don't care if I'm famous or not. I just want people at the shows. To me, it feels like no better feeling. You could just do whatever the fuck you want. If you're like, I've never been to this city, you could just go there and it'll sell out. Do you love that life like that?
I do. I'm very happy right now. Like I feel very fortunate that anyone, like I went into Seattle's a Mort Theater, I think it's 1800.
Yeah. And
I went up the first show and I just looked. It's like 3 stories of 3 tiers of people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you couldn't comp 1,800 people to come see me.
Yeah.
A few years ago. Like you couldn't comp.
Yeah, you would just go to like half sold out comedy clubs.
Not even sold. I never sold tickets. I was always a good paper act.
Right.
Like they could paper the room.
And you'd crush for that.
And I'd murder. I could, because I was, like, I miss those days a little bit of like going into a room full of people that really don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And changing their mind.
Yeah.
And watching them go like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And coming up to you after the show. But then the problem is you never really translated it. You never really converted them into fans.
Right.
That's the biggest difference between me and Segura is that Tom saw that business as a failing business.
Right.
He was like, I'm done performing in front of people that don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to find people who like me.
Yeah.
And I'm only performing in front of them.
Yeah.
And me and his wife were the exact opposite. We're like, no, this is a good business model. You go into Dayton, you make new fans. It's slow going. But it never translated. I would crush a room.
Yeah.
Wouldn't sell any shirts, wouldn't sell any CDs. No, maybe. I mean, I stand by the door and people just walk right past me. Yeah. It's so uncomfortable. I'd say stuff like, hey, great show tonight. And they would go, and people would go, thanks.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like now, like with like, like I see like you got like Letterman cards on the wall. I have mine too. I did it in like 2013, but now I feel like doing like your podcast, Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, all you guys, like that's like doing the Tonight Show. Like you and I talking right now will get more people to potentially notice me than if I did a 5-minute fucking dumb set on any late night show, and it's like, and I would still be privileged and honored to do it. But it's like, I don't care. Like some of my peers back in New York that like get bummed out if they don't do a late night show. I'm like, why would you care? Just call Bert Kreischer, go on his fucking show. And then he's Letterman with no shoes on right now. He's just barefoot David Letterman in his fucking, dude, Letterman. When I did Letterman, John Travolta was the other guest. Oh my God, bro. So you ever meet him?
No.
He's so fucking weird. We were down. I'll never forget. He was on. And then he comes off and I'm like waiting to go on next, it's like nerve wracking, whatever, my suit. And he stops and he goes, ooh, nice suit, big boy. Like just first thing. And I was like, hi, John. And then he goes, you nervous? And I was like, yes, he goes, well, you've already done this. And I said, well, no, I haven't. I'm going on next. He goes, no, you've already done this. And then he put his hand on my chest. It was so fucking bizarre. He put his hand on my chest. And he was like, I can feel your heart beating, and I'm talking to your heart, telling it to slow down, because I'm sure that you've auditioned this for the bookers many times, and the hard work is already done. Now you've already done it. You just have to go through the motions and do it. But trust me, the work is done. And he really, like, legit calmed me down.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God, like, my heart started to, he did like that shit, like that whatever religious shit, and it slowed my heart rate down. And then he said, I'm going to watch you every moment, because he said, I want this moment. I want to share this moment with you, and I will stand here and watch you every moment. And he told me, go be great now. And I was fucking pumped. And I had like,
Jesus
and I
Christ.
had still like the best set I've ever done on TV was there. I would say the best, like the most comfortable I ever was on that moment. And my ex-girlfriend was there at the time. She saw the whole thing happening. And when I came back, I was like, oh my God, like it was great. And when I was like, where's John? And she goes, he left immediately after you went on stage. And I was like, I fucking love John Travolta for that. Like when all those allegations started coming about him, I was like, it's probably true, but I just don't care. I just love Johnny T. He left immediately. He pumped me up and did all that shit and then just left. He flies a 747 by himself. So he just flew it into JFK like he's just a plane. Like they landed John Travolta, not like Flight Delta 643. Like they landed Travolta, car, took him to Letterman. He told the story, and then Letterman right back to the airport, private, blah blah blah. Flew his plane right back to LA, home, done.
Shut up.
Easy, yeah, crazy, right? Yeah, I know, man. I don't know. But yeah, dude, doing podcasts, it's like, yeah. It's like, I don't know why anybody cares anymore about like, you know, oh, if I didn't, like 2 years ago, I had a pilot with CBS, right? And it didn't get picked up and I was bummed out. And
you shot it?
I shot it. We filmed. Chaz Palminteri played my dad, which is fucking dope because like Bronx Tale's my favorite movie. And then Annie Potts played my mom.
Who's Annie Potts?
You know Annie Potts. She's a receptionist from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
So like those are my favorite movies and those are my parents and it was dope. And it didn't go and I was really upset. And I was out in LA. And I just randomly ran into Sebastian Maniscalco, and I don't really know him that well, you know. And I just was talking to him, and I was just like looking for someone to talk to about it, because they had just told me the news like an hour before, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm really upset. Like he didn't ask. I was like, I'm just really upset. My pilot didn't get picked up, and he was like, so, and I was like, what? And he was like, look, man, he said, I didn't get my pilot picked up on NBC. Sebastian was saying this. You know, Tony Danza played his pops, and it was a great show. He's like, and I'm telling you, like that business model, it's over. He said, I got my Showtime special. I shot my show. This was when he, as he was becoming who he is now. He was like, I put my Showtime special out, spliced it up. Those clips went viral. I did it illegally, kind of. He's like, because Showtime didn't give me permission to do that. I just fucking did it anyway. And now I'm selling out the garden. You know, now we sold out the garden 4 times. So he's like, forget about, you can take your career in your hands more than any other time in show business now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's all you guys do. Like that's why could you imagine if like you fucking, asked some network like, can I do a podcast? They'd be like, oh, well, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's have, fucking chefs on. But you're like, no, fuck it. I'm just going to do them and take my shirt off. Look at these tits. And then you're selling out the world. With no shoes on.
Yeah.
You're fucking barefoot right now. You're barefoot right now making thousands of dollars. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. Dude, literally, I swear to God, I know for 100% you have a fucking chicken. That's great. It's just live animals. Dude, I can't tell you how happy this makes me because I just feel like, it's just, you fucking take it into your own hands and I love it. If I don't get, I got a podcast now. It's called The History Hyenas, and I'm trying to get to your level.
The History of Hyenas?
History Hyenas. I love history, and I love hyenas because it's a wild fucking animal, and it's a matriarchy-driven society.
I love the way you see it say hyena.
Yeah, hyena. I had an extra letter into it because I'm fucking dumb because I was hooked on phonics, and I'm just a Queens, Brooklyn idiot. History Hyenas, and I love history, and I love podcasting, so... dude, if I don't make it though with podcasting and internet, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to go trans. Dude, I would fucking make it far if I went trans. How wild would it be if you were like, Chris completely cut his dick off? Would you support? You'd have to support me.
You can't not support someone
have to
anymore.
Support, even though behind closed doors, you'd be like, what is psycho?
It is a weird mandate that you have to vocally go, I'm so happy for that person. And then everyone shuts the door and they're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, where's his dick? What do they do with his dick? Feed it to your chickens. Are they chickens or roosters?
They're chickens.
Okay.
No one gets rooster.
I don't fucking know animals, man.
Unless you want more chickens. Wait.
Dude, you got the number one ref.
My rib.
Oh, you got a broken rib.
Ribs
Oh,
are
dude,
killing me.
broken ribs suck. I used to be a physical therapist, so I know what to do.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but you can't do anything for broken ribs.
No, there's
you just
nothing.
got to sit there and be in fucking pain.
Yeah, and it hurts on stage because I didn't realize how. For me, what's happening is it's the breath in. Like so, like I didn't realize how much I just project and then talk, and then I take a real quick deep breath, like, and that is what hurts.
Right.
So
Are you pissing blood?
no.
Oh, that's good.
Why is that the?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're pissing blood, like that's, it's never good to piss blood. like that's usually like if you hurt him hard and it like hits your kidneys.
You pissing blood? Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but that can't
That's
be
not
good.
Dude, one time I had an STD and I fucking had chlamydia, right?
I got that.
Yeah, you got that? Dude, it sucks. I mean, it's curable. But
Oh, let's slow down. I'm in so much fucking pain right now.
all right, so I have chlamydia, right?
Yeah.
And I go, my dick's just full dripping.
Yeah.
And so I go into the hospital, and the doctor's like a cool guy. I went to like the emergency room, and he was like, just like, I was like, I have an STD. He was like, how do you know? I was like, my penis is dripping. He was like, that's not good. And then he said, pee into this cup. And then I peed into the cup, and then he took the cup, and then he walked out of the room like halfway, and then came back. He was like, what is going on? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, feel your urine. And then I felt it, and I had to like put it in the other hand, like a coffee cup.
Yeah.
He was like, do you think urine's supposed to be that hot? I was like, I don't know, man. He was like, look, I'm going to test it. He said, but I'm just going to, I know that there's something wrong. So he's like, I'm going to give you a shot and a shake. And he gave me a shot in the arm, and he gave me the shake, and it like basically like made me like throw up, but it like basically like got everything out of my body. But my dick was like legit dripping, and my urine was, scalding coffee cup hot.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm okay now. I got it one more time, and yeah. It was,
But I got one more.
time.
What was the shake?
It was like this shake. It didn't taste bad. It was like it tasted like a gummy, like Pepto-Bismol kind of thing.
Yeah.
And apparently it's just like these high-powered antibiotics. But yeah, the doctor, he couldn't believe. He was like, this urine, he asked me, do you think it's supposed to be that hot? And I don't know, man.
I did a meet and greet with a guy and this guy in Spokane came up and took his shirt off, put his arm around me. I go, whoa, you are on fire, man. He's like, yeah, I got a pretty bad fever.
And he came to your show anyway?
And I go, wait, and you still came to the show? He's like, I wasn't going to miss this for the world. And I go, oh, cool, but you're sick. Am I going to get sick? And he's like, probably.
Yeah.
I did a meet and greet with the guy this week who came up and shook my hand, and he goes, and his eye is completely shut. And he goes, I would definitely go wash your hand. I have pink eye. I gave it to everyone after me.
Did you get it? Pink eye?
No, I didn't get pink eye, but I shook
God.
his hand. He's like, I definitely go wash your hand. I have pink eye.
Oh my God, dude. Dude, I had a sty like 3 days ago.
Styes suck.
My eye legit just wouldn't open. And then I got it to open, but it fucking, I don't know what happened, man.
Never pop a sty.
Yeah, you want to pop it so bad though, right?
Oh my God. My cameraman had a sty, and for some reason, we were in Zanzibar, and he felt like if I saw that he had a sty, I would freak out.
Right.
And so they all tried to keep it from me that he had a sty. But everyone had a secret, and I could tell that there was a secret, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And by the way, I don't give a fuck about sties.
Right.
So like I thought that I was getting fired or something was happening, something 10 times worse than the fucking John Man's having a sty.
Oh, and it just went away then.
No, I think he had to get it surgically removed.
If it doesn't go away, they got to flip open your eyelid and then cut it out from the inside, and then you just have to wear a patch like a dick.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Wait, when did you get the second clap?
The second clap, I got the first one in 2014, and I got the second one in 2016. I was, I have a daughter, and me and my kid's mom, we had split up for like 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm just gonna go and have sex, and then I did it. I just came back, and then like we like worked it out, and I was like, I have chlamydia, and she kicked me out again. But I just banged some girl. I was in I don't know where the hell I was. Baltimore? I think I got it in Baltimore at Magooby's. What a fucking horrible place to get chlamydia just at Magooby's.
Of course, Baltimore's like, man, we can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Our rap is just going down and down.
Dude, but I mean, listen, you know, I got chlamydia twice. I have warts. Who doesn't have fucking warts? Get HPV a little, get a couple speed bumps on your dick. But I've never got anything like really permanent besides a wart or two. But it doesn't, it's almost like if you don't have warts, I don't want to have sex with you.
This was the wrong podcast to do today. I have laughed more this first, and it's, you know, when you're not supposed to laugh, that makes laughing so much more fun.
Yeah. And you're, dude, once you get your laugh going, you can't stop.
Wait. So wait, how did you fuck me? Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you seem super cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, who gives a fuck, you know? It's like, I got a kid. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I have warts. Sometimes my dick drifts. It's like, what do you want from me, man? Like, I'm not going to sit here and just lie about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't have warts? I'm not really going raw dog. And if I am going raw dog, first of all, I'm at a point now where, like, I don't want to have sex with like a 21-year-old girl. Like, I want like a woman who has children, like a veteran. So like, chances are like she's been through some shit. Like, I don't like, tell me if you have herpes or something like that, just because like I'll make a decision if I want to get it or not. You know?
Would you fucking check if she had herpes?
Yeah, I would. Why not? I mean, if you know. If I liked her, you know, and like I thought it was going to be something, why not, man? I mean, we're all, that's the thing. It's like, we're all going to die. You're going to die. Yeah. You might as well go out swinging. Like, for sure, like, I know you're going to die one day in something that you fucking love doing. Yeah. Like, you're a guy, you're here for a good time, you're not here for a long time. And I fucking love it. Every time I watch Bert, I'm like, yes, that guy fucking rules, man. He's going to get eaten alive by an alligator one day, but he's fucking sick. I fucking love it, man. And everybody's going to love it, dude. Yeah, you're the definition of that guy, and you rock out, and that's why you get standing ovations, and people come to your shows with pink eye and fevers. That's what it is. I love it, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I feel the first time I got the clap, I only got it once, but when I got the clap, I was devastated.
Right.
I was like, I remember I went to the doctor, and I was like, I had drank out of a horse trough in Switzerland. Like a month before, because we went on a hike in Switzerland to the top of this mountain. None of us brought water,
right? And
we were fucking dying. We were dying, so we ran up, and all of a sudden there was a horse trough,
right?
So we all just started drinking out of the horse trough. So I told the doctor, I said, "Yeah, I think I got it from a horse trough." And he was like, "You fucked a horse trough?" And I was like, "No, it's not sexually transmitted." He was like, "No, it is." Yeah. And I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure I got it from a horse trough."
Yeah.
He was like,
well, what were your symptoms? Were your dick leaking?
Dude, when I would start to piss,
okay,
I felt like I was getting punched in the groin, like in the pubis.
It hurt.
Just I could feel a thump when it started, and then it was like so much pain, so much burning that I was like, oh my god.
You knew you had a disease.
I knew something was wrong.
Right.
I was like, I got something is not right with this.
Right.
And I went to the doctor, and he was like, you got the clap. You must have had sex with a chick in Europe that had it? And I went, no, I didn't. And he goes, who? I said, he goes, you have to be having sex with someone. I said, my girlfriend, but she's not having sex with anyone else. And he was like,
oh, here we go.
She is. Yes. And I went, what? And
is that really what happened? She cheated on you?
Yeah. He goes, she's he said to me, he goes, she's a whore, man. Yeah. And by the way, this is probably 1995.
Yeah, well, you could still say that.
And I didn't even realize this. Now, I looked at the doctor. I was 22 years old. I looked at the doctor like he must have been a grown-up. He was probably a 26-year-old kid right out of med school.
We're older than him now.
Yeah, way older than him. Yeah. And he was just some kid, and he was like, nah, man. He was like, I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
She's sleeping around with a lot of guys. Yeah. And I said, really? He goes, you don't get it from just one. Like, trust me.
Yeah.
You get the odds. He's like, she's sleeping around. She's a whore, man. And I was like, easy, man. Like, she's my girlfriend. And he was like, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
The bar we used to go to, it was called Yanni's. He goes, when you go to Yanni's, do you and your dick split up to cover more territory?
Yeah.
I go, no.
Yeah.
And he goes, so you're with your dick pretty much all night long? I go, yeah. And he goes, then either you're lying to me or she's lying to you. So which you got to pick which one it is.
Right.
I said, I'm telling you the truth. He goes, and she's a whore. she's sleeping with other people. And I was like, I don't believe it. I want the test. He goes, you don't want the test. I can just give you all the medication and you'll be done with it. I went, no, I want the test. He was like, all right. And he goes, I'd hold on to the fucking table if I were you. And he put the Q-tip all the way down my dick. Woo-wee! And as soon as it went in, I went, she's a whore. She's a whore. I fucking...
yeah. Oh, that sucks.
And I told every chick I dated after that, I told him that I'd gotten the clap.
Yeah,
I was like, right up front, I had the clap when my girlfriend cheated on me. I've only had sex with like 6 chicks.
Your whole life?
Yeah.
Fucking dope, man.
I'm not a big sex guy in that, like... I'm not good at it for one,
right?
And I get way too emotionally involved,
right?
Like it's a lot of emotion for me.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite in the sense that I have sex like here's how I describe myself. I'm the kind of guy, I fall in love with men, but I have sex with women. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gay, but like, I'd rather hang out with you all day and just get to know you and talk about you, and even like go head to toe with you and fucking sleep and have a sleepover. But then I'd like to go have sex with a woman and get chlamydia. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I don't want to talk and get to know the woman at all. I'm not a gay guy. I have sex with women. I'm attracted to vagina, but I fall in love with men. Like, if you want to like hang out and like have drinks and stuff, I'd fall asleep on your lap. But I wouldn't think about sucking your dick. I would just be intimate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to sit on your fucking lap right now. Yeah. But it's just because I think you're a great guy. But I don't want to have sex with you. Is that weird?
No, this makes sense.
All right. Yeah. I mean, we all got something.
Is it hard? How many relationships have you been in?
I've been in serious girlfriends. I've had about 10 serious girlfriends. 10 girls have met my mom and dad. Things change. My daughter, me and her mom, when we met, she got pregnant on the first date or second date. So
really?
I didn't know her at all. I mean, I knew her, but we weren't like in a relationship at all. And I'll never forget. I was down in we like had sex. You know, we were talking or whatever, but like it wasn't anything. We didn't know if it was going anywhere. It was like just a girl. You know, I was probably one of a few guys she was talking to. She was one of a few girls I was talking to. We were both happily single, whatever. Had sex. Blah blah blah, and I was down in Tampa at Side Splitters with that guy Bobby Jewell.
Yeah,
and it was crazy, and I love him though, but he's nuts. And I'll never forget. It was September 11th, 2014, and she texted me, and she was like, "Hey," she was like, "I see you down in Tampa." It was in the morning. She was like, "I want to come down." It was a Thursday or Friday. She's like, "I want to come down, hang out," and I said, "Absolutely." Yeah, you know. So she got out. She came down. And she was like showed up to by the time she got there, I was already on stage. And she was like, when I came out, she was like doing shots with my friend. She was like having a great fucking time. She looked smoking hot. It was like great. I was like, this is awesome. She's gonna have sex with this girl all weekend. It'll be great. And then I'll fall in love with another guy. And then we get back to my hotel room and she goes, look, the reason I came down here, she was like, and she goes in her bed because she pulls out a positive pregnancy test. And she was like, I know that, you know, we don't know each other. She already has a son from a previous relationship. He was 3 or 4 at the time. So she was like, I have a son. She was like, so, we don't know each other. You have your career. I have my life. She was like, I just came down here to like hang out. She's like, let's go, if come with me, please, tomorrow or whatever to get it taken care of. She's like, I just want you to be there with me. And then like, we don't have to talk anymore. Like, if you could pay for it and just be with me and that's it and whatever. And she was like, so that's why I came down. I just want to tell you in person. And then she said that to me. And it was like this moment I had in my mind where I was just like, because like 4 years before that, I dated this girl. We were together and she got pregnant and she decided to have an abortion. And I remember it was like, it fucked with you as it does. It just fucks with you where you're like, I made it. That was wrong. And then when she told me this, even though like it was crazy, I didn't know her, I was, it was nuts. In my head, when she said, do you want to keep it? When she said, I'm going to get rid of it, in my head, I said, no, we need to keep it. Like I said, my brain was basically saying, yes, keep this baby. Yeah. So I said, look, I said, it's your choice. It's your body. I said, but I will be a father to the baby. And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, I promise you. I said, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I said, I don't know if we're going to be together. I said, but I promise you, this baby, I will be this child's baby, and like I will be there as a father, no matter, and be there for you, like what you need. And she was like, all right. She was like, if that's what you say, and then that's what it is. So I don't regret anything. I mean, it didn't work out with us as a couple,
But how long did you try?
Like 3 years.
Oh, really?
So yeah. I'm sorry, 2 years.
Yeah.
So, and my daughter like changed my whole life. I see my daughter every day. I bought an apartment like 5 blocks away from them just so I could be near. It's like, I don't even like the neighborhood I live in, but it's like, hey, my baby's there, so that's where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't regret anything. I mean, obviously life got harder. It got harder and easier simultaneously. It got hard in the sense like for our career, like I can't just go away as much as I'd like to, or if I do, it has to be really worth it financially because I don't want to spend time away from my daughter. But it got easier because it's like now things that happen that don't go my way career-wise, the pain is so quick. It's like, oh, I'm bummed about that, but let me go take my kid to Chuck E. Cheese, or what is my daughter going to do for the first time today, or say something. So I almost like, I don't, not that I feel bad, but I just like all our peers who don't have kids who are like adamant about not having kids. Like I wish, I think if they did have kids, they would feel different because I just feel like, I mean, everybody makes their own choices, do whatever you want, but I feel like my daughter saves me so much. But yeah, that's what happened. And then I remember she was like, all right, we're going to keep it. And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, let's just do one more shot. I was like, are you the right kind of, are you a good mom? I was like, I just like didn't know. I was like, we just said we're going to have the baby. Let's do fucking shots. But we did one more shot and that was it. And then we kept it. And obviously, and it's been great. My daughter's like, she's like a little half Puerto Rican girl that's just like runs around my house. Was
your chick Puerto Rican?
Puerto Rican. My kid's mom is like gorgeous, right?
Really?
Yeah, beautiful woman. So it's like and my daughter's beautiful. So like I don't.
Wait, can I see her online?
Yeah, go ahead, take a look.
Where is she?
Look at her tits.
On your Instagram?
My daughter or my kid's mom?
Both.
Yeah, let me see. Let's see. My kid's mom, my baby mama. She's her name is Jasmine. She's good. She's this is here. I'll show you. Here we go. Yeah, she's like a personal trainer, so that's always good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's just got she's hot. She's just got and hey, listen, you want a hot mom, you want a hot mom, and I got a hot kid. I'll probably have a hot kid. Oh God, I hope my kid doesn't get chlamydia. She might. Who cares, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna be the dad. I'm gonna tell my daughter I'm gonna be the guy who's like, look, here, that's just like a video. She does videos of herself smiling to try to thirst trap guys. But it's what it is. She got me too.
Thirst trap?
Yeah, like she gets guys probably to DM her. I don't care. Listen, the truth of the situation is I'm paying her rent and bills, and guys are probably having sex in the house that I pay for. But it's what it is. You're just gonna have to fucking live with it,
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand. I don't care anymore.
What kind of dad do you think you'll be? Like when as she gets older?
I think I'm gonna be the dad who is very much open to anything. I want to have the kind of relationship with my daughter where. Not that I'm a friend, because I think it's important for parents to remain authority figures, but I'm going to try to be as real with my kid as possible. Like I'm not going to be the dad that's like, you better not be having sex. I'm going to be the guy that's like, listen, if you're anything like your mom, you're probably having sex. So here are condoms. You always have condoms. You could come to dad for condoms. You talk. Anything happens, a guy mistreats you. You talk to me. I'm not going to go beat the shit out of him, but we're going to talk to you. I want you to know what it is to respect yourself, and I want you to know. I want you to be strong, and I want you to make decisions. Because I have a lot of strong women in my family. I have 3 cousins, females, who are all FDNY firefighters. So sometimes with certain situations that have happened lately, with women feeling because that shit does happen, sexual assault and all that shit really happens. But sometimes it was hard for me to see it because the women in my family, you can't assault them. They'll just my cousins, they'll just beat the shit out of you. They're firefighters. Yeah. So my example of women was always like, oh yeah, no. If you have your dick out in front of me and I don't want it, I'm just gonna grab it and punch you in the face. I'm not gonna wait a year. I'm just gonna take care of it right now.
Yeah.
And that's how I want my daughter to be. Just be like, listen, there needs to be like a strength in that. So, but I don't know. I mean, my dad, he's a good dad. He was always kind of one of those dads where he would do the right thing, but it's just the wrong move. I remember we were at a Yankee game once and he wanted to get better seats at the game. I was 12, so he made me make believe I had special needs to get better seats. And it's that's okay. I have special needs. You know what I mean? Not that it's okay, but it's you just want me to get better seats. I understand, but it's don't make, you know what I mean?
Don't make me
drool.
Don't make me be Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, but he did. It worked. You know, I mean, it worked. I remember this one time, my parents got divorced when I was 1. And my dad, I was 15, and my mom was dating this guy, and he broke up with my mom and started dating a woman directly across the street, like directly, like not down the road. Like there's our house, and then the woman across the street that my mother could see, we could see from our window, started dating that woman. So I remember my dad came. My dad's like an old school, like, you know, Italian guy from the Bronx. He came to pick me up one weekend to go play in a basketball tournament. It was a Saturday morning, and my mom was sitting upstairs with a chair facing out the window, crying. She had sunglasses on to try to hide it, but she was crying. And my dad's like, "What's wrong with your mother?" And I was like, "Well, you know, she broke up with Jim. He's dating a woman across the street." He goes, "Did you do anything?" And I was like, "What?" He was like, "You didn't do anything?" And I was like, "No, what do you want me to do?" He's like, "All right." He's like, "Listen, just stay here. I'm going to go get us bagels." I was like, okay. So then all of a sudden, you know, a few minutes go by. I hear my mother screaming, Tony, stop it. What are you doing? And she's like, Christopher, go get your father. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I run downstairs. My dad was beating the shit out of Jim, and he had his knee on his throat and was like fucking like finger in his face screaming at this guy, and then he just walks across the street. It was like that scene in Goodfellas. It truly was. Like it truly fucking was. And I hadn't even seen that movie yet, but it's what it was. And he was just like, and he grabbed me because he was like all fired up, and he was like, don't let anyone ever disrespect your mother like that again. He was like, I shouldn't have to do your job. And I was like, my job? I'm 15 years old. I was like, what do you mean my job? So it's like the wrong move, but the right intention. Like my dad, because then my dad
to do your job.
Yeah, and then we drove an hour and a half to Pennsylvania for a basketball tournament. And the whole conversation was about like, look, he was like, look, what I did was wrong. I shouldn't have hurt that guy. He said, but you have to understand, like your mother, right? He said, you're the man of that house. Your mother can't be sitting out a window crying and you not take any initiative or do anything. He said, so I shouldn't have done that. He said, but you should have at least been comforting her and talking to her instead of sitting in your room playing video games like a weirdo. He said, so next time anything like that happens, you just always think about you got to protect your mom. You're the man. He said, I don't live there anymore, so that's your job. And I was like, wow, so that's kind of just how my dad is. He's just like, look, it's going to be old school sometimes. Like hurricane, like it's like, I feel like now in 2019, like it's easy. Like you could write a blog about my dad and he could be vilified when really he's just a great guy. Like Hurricane Sandy happened in New York a few years ago, and it like ravaged Staten Island where my dad lives. And there's a lot of immigrants that live on the water over there, you know, Mexican, Venezuelan immigrants. And a lot of their houses got damaged, and my dad's house did not get damaged. So he would go every day with like a fucking U-Haul truck, help them out, and then 2 families, he let them live in his house for like 3 weeks. But the thing is with my dad, he'll do great things like that, but simultaneously he'll have to make racist jokes. So like I was there once, and like he had this whole family in there, and he kept calling the guys Jose, and his name was Juan. He just continuously called him Jose. The guy's like, my name is Juan. He's like, Jose, this fucking guy. He's like, you want a beer? And then he was like, he would like be yelling at like certain people. He's like, hey, don't steal the silverware, kids. Like hack old man jokes.
Yeah.
But the ultimate thing was like, but the bottom line is like, he's doing all that, but like those families like were in tears of appreciation of how kind he was. So I feel like sometimes in 2019, you know, we just like jump on people when it's like, you don't fucking know. You don't know what you don't really know this guy.
It's people take assault to the next level. They think that what is simply like a little bit of your personality, whether it's an off-color joke or not, they look at that as the one thing, as opposed to all the body of work you do as a human being. Yeah,
it's like dude, it's really ridiculous, and that's why I love podcasting and doing stuff like this, because like we can just be ourselves. We could say it's to your fans, and, you know, and people who like comedy and like what you do. So it's like it's all an open mind. It's like you go on someone like these talk shows, and now it's like you have to say the right thing so you get an applause break from the audience. It's like, fuck you, man,
dude.
You know, like now I mean you're past it now, because now you're doing, like, if you're going to do late night, you're going to sit on the couch with the host. But like where I'm at still, like, you know, when you do late night sets, it's like you can say nothing. Like I have all these bits about my daughter being Puerto Rican. I like imitate her. She's my daughter. And they said, oh, you know what? You can't do that on our show because you're not Puerto Rican. It's like, are you fucking stupid, guy? Like how much do you have to live in fear? Could you imagine being on the other side of the job. Could you imagine being like an executive nowadays or like a booker nowadays? You just live in fear your whole fucking life. Scared.
And you have to say the same mandated company bylines,
Boring.
I think that a person of color might.
Oh, shut up.
As opposed to just saying, hey, let them speak for themselves.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, and this is just like street smart shit. I think that you're from Philly, right?
Tampa.
Oh, Tampa. Okay. But even still, that's fucking crazy. Yeah. A lot of shit goes to Ybor City. Fucking chlamydia. That's the whole city says chlamydia. And so you know what it is, like big city shit. It's like, if you're I can tell when someone's bullshit right away. Like if you're someone that says to me, I don't see color, it's like, get the fuck away from me. Okay. You're a racist piece of shit. I don't want to go anywhere near you. Or if you're tweeting out, loving, I stand with this and like all that. And I'm liberal, but it's like, if you're going like over extra liberal, you have children in your basement. You have a fucking harem of children in your basement and you're going to stay away from my kid. Dude, I don't trust any of you fucks. No way. Cause a normal person would just be like, is in the gray zone. Like a normal, like if I feel like if I was the kind of if like you voted for Trump and I voted for Hillary, I would be like, okay, cool, we could talk about both things, or vice versa. Whereas like nowadays, it's like if you didn't vote for the candidate they said, or if you're using plastic straws, you're a piece of shit. It's like, guy, do you live in reality or do you live in this utopian bullshit that doesn't exist?
Dude, Kevin Hart said, I'm over it. He goes, I'm over it, and his movie beat Aquaman.
Yeah,
so
easy.
So just so everyone knows. That outrage is phony. It's fake, and those people aren't real.
Yeah,
like that is a small. Here's what it is. I think the majority of people, including gay people, like Ellen, said, "Hey guys, this was a while ago.
Yeah,
this was a while ago, and he has apologized, and he's apologizing again. Yeah, we should let." His actions today speak for who he is today. Yeah. And there were just people going, not on my watch.
Yeah. It's like our whole lives, all we hear is, actions speak louder than words, except when you're trying to vilify someone, then it's always words.
Yeah, then it's words.
It's like, you have to go 10 years back to find tweets. I think you wanted revenge. You didn't want him to change. You just want revenge on something.
It's what he said. He goes, this is an attack. Yeah. This is an attack. It's not a coincidence that I host the Oscars and the next day, all these tweets from past resurface.
It's like, in our field now with comedy, it's like, I feel like all I want I want to sell tickets. I want butts in the seats. And I just want to be a guy that I feel like my peers could be like, you know what? He's funny and he could be funny in any decade. Like, I'm not just funny and I'm not just being able to be successful in comedy because of the parameters of 2019. It's like, I don't want that. I want to be like, I could have been funny in 1999.
That's an interesting statement you just made, because I don't think a ton of people understand what you just said. Yeah. Meaning, you don't want to be funny about the culture right now. Right. You want to be funny like in the 80s your set would have worked. And in 10 years your set will work.
Absolutely. It's like
brilliant.
It's like like your comedy. I'm in 1995 I was laughing at you and I'm laughing at you now. I was laughing at you at Bert the Conqueror and I'm still laughing at you because it's just funny. You deserve to be here. Whereas some other of our comedians, and we know who they are, and the audience knows who they are. It's like you're just saying things that the people of 2019 want to hear right now, and you're not funny. You're just being politely amusing. Yeah. That's what you're doing, and you're just. Listen, if I'm a comedian, I can't have a political agenda. It's like, what do you want to be? Do you want to do comedy? Or you want to do politics? It's like, I hate when I see comedians. I mean, you could, look, people have voices and audiences like, you have power, of course. Like if Kevin Hart, if he wants to say, hey, vote for Hillary or whatever's candidate, he's trying to move people. I get it. It's a whole big machine. I get it. But it's like, you're trying to tell me like what, it's like, where's the joke, guy? If you're gonna tweet, as a comedian, in my opinion, if you're like if you're doing a comedy special, there needs to be jokes, or else you're just doing a TED Talk. Yeah. Like sometimes I watch Netflix specials, I'm like, this is just a fucking TED Talk. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Sometimes I put on Netflix specials and I just fall asleep to them. It's like what I do. It's like instead of taking NyQuil, I just listen to this fuck talk about what his view on society. It's like, that's fine, but where's the joke? If you're a comedian, you have our art form is punchlines. You have to have a joke.
Some of the problems I have is,
dude, you got fucking clean feet, by the way.
Thank you.
Because you just put them up right now and you have no dirt on the bottom of your feet. You got clean feet. And
I just washed them in the pool.
And they look like they don't stink. They look like you have fumeless feet.
I have beautiful feet.
You do actually have really good feet for a guy. Feet, yeah. You have good feet.
Some of these people, it's like if you say you're a comedian, but then you just polarize your audience and preach politics. You're not. Don't use the moniker comedian. I don't mind you doing that.
Right.
But don't use my moniker of comedian because I put a lot of work into what I do to make people laugh.
Right.
And there is a power in making people laugh.
Right.
There's also a power in making people agree with you and, and swaying people politically to understand your point of view or maybe opening the eyes of people. But don't put comedian in there. There's got to be jokes.
Yeah, like the co-host of my History of Hyenas podcast, Giannis Pappas, he tweeted out something the other day, and I agreed with it. It's like, as comedians, like, we were always the kids getting in trouble. Like, we were always the guys crossing the line. So we're not offended. We would be the one doing the offending. But now it's like when I see some of our peers being offended, I'm like, oh, God, shut up. Dude. What do you mean you're offended? Make a joke about it. You know, like, come on, man. We're comedians. You're forgetting what you signed up for. People pay money to come into that comedy club or that theater to cross the line. That's why they're coming. They don't want to hear what's right.
There shouldn't be people leaving your show going, well, that was interesting.
No. They should be funny. Like, I'm laughing.
That was funny, man. Yeah. That was good. I had a good time doing that.
Yeah, it's like, listen, and look, you know, you got political comedians that they talk about politics. That, like Bill Maher, you know, like he talks about politics a lot, but I don't ever feel like he's telling me what to do. I'm laughing at his idea of politics.
I don't even know what side he's on, to be dead honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I just laugh at him.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at him like, oh, this guy's funny because he's just a real comic.
Yeah.
Where some other people, I'm like, so you're changing. It's like they're not that funny. They're not that talented. So they're changing the game and the rules to fit them because really they're not very good and they're actually very weak. But they're not good.
Accurate.
You know? So but they change the game, and then this kind of like very, very, very loud minority, you know, writes blogs and stuff and makes us feel bad for shit when it's like, no, really, man, what America wants, well, I'll tell you what America wants. They don't give a fuck about this or that. They just want to laugh. If some dude from Iowa who's working, you know, on a farm all day just wants to come down and laugh. He's not being like, oh, but does this match my political message? Does this have enough of this or that? It's like, no, I just want to be funny, man. I laugh just as much at the show Blackish as I do at old episodes of Seinfeld. One's an all black family, one's an all white family. I just laugh because they're both funny. Yeah. You know?
I think the other thing is, you know, we get caught up in New York and LA being these two almost like fucking echo chambers of what we hear our peers in these two cities. Man, you go to the middle of the country, there's a lot of different people.
Hell yeah, dude.
And there are a lot of people that don't know that Janine Garofalo talked about Louis.
They don't know.
They really don't know.
On Long Island, it's crazy. I was last year I was all the way out on Suffolk County, Long Island. So that's like, it's New York, but it's like it's out there. Like it's pretty much like being in Iowa, but it's in New York.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this girl. I was at an engagement party. I was talking to this girl and, you know, just joking, you know, flirting a little bit, whatever. And I was like, uh-oh, don't me too me. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, me too. And this is a year ago, maybe even less, maybe 8 months ago. And she was like, what do you mean? And then she's like a school teacher. And then she asked one of her friends, I think her friend's name was Paulette, because there's like real Long Island girls. She was like, Paulette. She was like, what's me too? And she was like, what do you mean, what's me too? I don't know. She was like, and then I said to her, I said, what do you mean you don't know what me too is? And she goes, and then the girl said to me, she goes, you know, she was like, you live in the city. She was like, so you have all your agendas and shit. She was like, I live in reality. I live on Suffolk County. She was like, so I don't know what me too is. And then I explained it to her, and she was like, oh, she was like, no, it's cool. She was like, I think, yeah, fuck sexual harassment. She's like, but yeah, she's like, I don't know what all your hashtags are and movement. She's like, I don't care. She's like, I have a real job out here. I'm not outraged. And I was like, wow. It fucking hit me where it's like not minimalizing any of the movements, but it's just like, yeah, some people just don't care. They truly don't care. Like in New York or LA, if you're using a plastic straw, people are like, what about the turtles? But if you go to Iowa, they're like, what are you talking about, the turtles? What do you mean? Some of us don't have toilets. You know, like we have no money. What are you talking about? So it's an interesting thing when you do comedy and you go all over the country, because you're like, oh wow, you know, it's really like the media is very powerful. And you would think like all 400 million Americans feel this way, but all 400 million Americans do not feel the way that people in New York and I mean, that's how Trump won. I mean, everyone, if you lived in New York or LA, you'd be like, how the hell could Trump win? But you know, you or I touring across the country, I'm like, I knew he was going to win.
I called it. I called it. We did the End of the World podcast. I said, he's going to win. I was just in Ohio. He will win Ohio. Sure. I made a joke about Trump and he will win Ohio. Yeah. And then sure enough, he won. And it was me, Bill, Stanhope, and Rogan on stage.
Yeah.
And all of us were like, of course he won.
Yeah.
Like, and there were women crying in the audience.
Sure.
And we were like, but this is what our country wanted.
Right.
Our country chose this.
Yeah.
Why would you like this is how it was, dude, it was that whole, what's it like being like, you are a thumbprint of a human being that all of America's heard of,
right,
but never gets to meet, like a Long Island, like fucking Italian, like good looking, like almost not Jersey Shore, but like Jersey Shore light.
Right.
Like, what's that like when you go to like a place like Iowa and they get to see what they've only seen in movies?
It's interesting because, you know, sometimes like I'll notice like they'll be laughing at like setups and I'm like, why are they laughing? It took me a while. Why are they laughing? It's like, oh, because just the way I talk. Yeah. Like just by a word I said, they're like, oh, he said it that way, stupid. Yeah. You know, and it's just like, oh shit. So I think, you know, for like, you know, when I go to like the middle of the country and like do comedy clubs and stuff, I feel like there's a little bit of me that has to like give them what they want, like talk a little like, you know, but then I always try to like ease into like the shit that I want to talk about. Like, you know, but in the beginning I have to be like, you know, coffee or like, you know what I'm talking about, guy. And you're like, oh my God. But really it's like, that's not how I talk, but you know, these people paid. So it's like, talk like that, give them a little bit. And then, you know, I do my material, but it's weird. You know what's interesting, I feel like, about like being a New Yorker? Yeah. It's like, it's because like, look, let's be honest. Like right now, you know, like straight white males, like people are mad at us, right? You know, and it's just what it is, but not New York guys. I just feel like, cause you know what it is? Like all my friends, you know, I mean, I got friends, cops, firemen, criminals, like it's New York. It's like a melting pot, all different races, religions. Yeah. Like even if I say something, if I ever said anything that was like borderline racist, it'll be funny, number one, or a very big attempt to be funny, and it won't be racist, and I feel like the other race won't take offense to it because it's like, yo, I'm from New York, man. Like, you know, first I'm not going to say anything derogatory, but it's like I make jokes. Like we joke around. Yeah. Like as many jokes as I've made to my black and Spanish friends, they've made back to me, and it's all good. I feel like you need to have that, man.
You guys had that growing up because you guys were so multicultural.
There was no segregation by us.
See, we still had segregation in Florida growing up.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I remember a black family lived in our neighborhood, and everyone was like, "Whoa!"
Right.
And I remember being like, "Really?" Like, not thinking anything of it. But it was like we didn't have any black kids on our baseball teams. Right. They played in a different league. Right. And then we would play them once a year. And it was pointed out we're playing the black people now. Sure. Like it was very Florida State and FAMU, two totally different campuses, one black, one white in the exact same city.
Yeah. See, that's not a possibility growing up in New York City because the island is too small and there's just too many people. So it's like it's really hard to be racist in New York because the person that you hate, you will see when you walk outside. Yeah, you're just going to see them.
In Florida, you get in your car, you're in your bubble. You drive to work, you're in your bubble. You get home, you're in your bubble. Yeah. You could go 18 years probably.
It's crazy.
I think about my life. I had maybe, like, if we're talking like close black friends, maybe 2. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. But everyone was Cuban. Yeah. Everyone was white. A couple Jewish guys. Yeah. But like it was
yeah, see that's interesting because like it's fucking wild because like my mom was so Catholic, Catholic, went to like Catholic grammar school, Catholic high school, Catholic college. So I knew all different, you know, races growing up, you know, Puerto Rican, black, Asian, white, whatever. I didn't meet and befriend my first Jewish person until I was 24 years old in New York City, where there's as many Jews.
How is that possible?
Bro, because my mom just kept it insulated with Catholicism. She just was all about being a Catholic, and I just didn't meet any other Jews. And now, especially like in comedy, it's like, I'm surrounded. You better be surrounded by Jews or you're not successful. If your team's not mostly Jewish, you're not. I guarantee you most of your team is Jewish.
I don't even know.
You have to have a lot of Jewish reps. They're fucking good at what they do. And it's like, you know, I don't know why anybody would ever take offense to that.
Someone just said that. LeBron just said something like that.
Yeah, but didn't he say like, did he say it in a stupid way? I don't know. Or he probably didn't. LeBron doesn't do anything. It's like, it's like now people want to attack LeBron. He's building fucking schools.
He quoted a rap song about I got to get that Jewish money or something.
What's the problem with that?
I don't know.
Well, I guess maybe because like they feel like they're there's so many jokes about Jews only caring about money and blah 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 blah. So I could see how somebody could find that offensive, but clearly that's not what LeBron meant. And clearly he's saying like if you're a Jewish person, you're very good at making money. I don't know how that's a bad thing.
Our friends are Jewish, and he explained it to me. Something about the effect. I forget what it was, but it was like it's playing into the stereotype that the Jews control the banks and they control the. I forget what it was, but he was.
But you know what, God? I mean, it's like. So what? You know, like Italian people are like, oh, you're in the mafia. It's like, listen, my dad, I don't know what he did for a living. Okay? Things were paid for in cash. Yeah. I had one of, my uncle was murdered. It's like, I'm not in the mafia. I don't know they're in the mafia, but it's like you make a mafia joke. It's like, am I going to get offended by that? No, because it's close to the truth. I get it. And the movies immortalize shit. It's like everybody wants to be so offended.
Close to the truth.
Yeah, it's like culture fucking... First of all, I read this book, Sapiens. That's what's wild about me. It's like,
wait, Sapiens? That's so funny. I just bought it on audiobook.
Bro, wild fucking book.
I started it. It was really intense. Like the first sentence is something like, it was like basically we're going to be talking about humans.
Yes. It's all about humans, and it's all about, kind of culture and how we've evolved, like how, like if wheat wasn't growing at the right time with the right temperature, we would never evolved. How if we didn't have dogs, we would have never evolved. About culture, really what?
I did. I read half of Sapiens.
Yeah.
The one thing that stuck with me was the greatest realization of mankind is that we don't know everything.
Bang.
And because in the Bible's time, it was like, well, if you don't know how a spider web is built, you don't have to know because God knows. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And then once they said, well, hold on, I want to find out how I don't know how God had the answers for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, like and it's true. It's like you it just kind of makes you feel like we're just.
Wait, why about dogs? What was it about?
So
dogs?
With dogs, so what it basically was is like wolves. Like without the domestication of dogs, we would have never been able to advance as a species because basically we've been around here for roughly 2 million years, like on this planet, fucking dicking around. But we really only like as a civilization really was, I think it's about 150,000 years old, because for most of human existence, we were just another animal on the plane. So we would be eaten by lions, hyenas. We would just be eaten alive by them like any other animal will be right now. Yeah. But once we started to domesticate wolves, what we would do is wolves, because that's what a dog is. It's just like, it's evolved into a dog. We would give them bones we figured out that if we gave a wolf a bone, they wouldn't attack us. And then throughout years and years and years of evolution, packs of wolves start to come around and be like, hey, don't kill that species, don't eat them, because we were being eaten alive by wolves all the time, left and right. Don't eat them because they just give us bones, and then we can get the marrow out of the bones and we don't have to starve. So it started to domesticate. It started to, like, just a natural domestication of them. They started to bark because it was all, selfish at first. They just started to bark and make sounds and howl at lions and tigers coming to attack humans because, like, we don't want to fucking get your bones. So we were able, because we had basically protection, we were able to evolve, and then we were able to figure out to like make spears and be able. We're still obviously the only animal we can kill something from a distance. Every other animal has to come right up to you and kill you. So we can throw and kill things, and then we just started to become. Then we started to just light years. In the last 100,000 years, we've obviously further than any other animal in history because we've just been we had the protection of the dogs. And then he goes on to talk about culture, where he's like, listen, culture is important, but you got to understand, culture is just like whatever your culture is. Understand that what you're really practicing, the traditions you're really practicing, are probably the traditions of the group you used to hate. So he said your ancestors, your great grandmother was fighting to do something else, but then they were conquered And then these traditions, what you have now, will all of a sudden put into, your daily life because you were owned by somebody else. So you don't even know. So like to say, oh, this is my culture, you don't know what you're talking about. Because really, because what you're saying about your culture, your ancestor 500 years in the past would say, why would you do that? That's what the people we were fighting against used to do. But you lost the war. So that's what culture is, just this bunch of things that everybody just rapes and kills each other. Like, that's what I don't like. Everybody wants to fight now and be like, well, animals just rape and kill each other. That's what they do. That's what people are discussing. Okay, so another part of the book, which is fucking nuts, it talks about how we all, obviously evolved from, they say common ancestor, but this guy's not so sure it's a common ancestor anymore because he says there were Homo sapiens, which was what, we are, but really it's what Homo sapiens, and when I say we, I mean white people. White people come from one group, and then other races come from another group, and the Homo sapien, the Homo erectus group, I believe, I know there's somebody out there being like, you're a fucking idiot, you're getting these wrong, but if you read the book, you know the part I'm talking about, says that actually the people who developed into Caucasians, we were the nastier ape. We evolved from the nastier, more vicious ape to take over not take over, but like we just were a more vicious ape than what this author feels like other races, what ape they derive from, because that, scientists feel everybody derived from an ape. So different kinds. So it was this interesting part of the book where he was like, look, I'm not saying there's differences, one group's superior, one group's not, but to say we're all cut from the same cloth, he says science doesn't believe so. But it's common knowledge, and he said, but people will not believe that, and that's why there's religion, because religion is just, his points is like religion is just defense mechanisms against the truth, because the truth is that we're not cut from the same cloth, in his opinion, and we are vicious animals that have killed off, I believe he said 98% of all living things, humans have killed them. So we are number one, not even close, the biggest predator that's ever existed on this planet. Wow. We've killed everything we've come into existence with, we kill it all. And so it was like pretty wild, that book. It made me feel like happy and sad at the same time. It made me feel sad in the sense like shit, like we are scumbags. But then it made me feel happy in the sense where it's like, oh, I don't really control anything, and I'm nothing but everything at the same time. Like I'm part of the universe, so therefore I matter, but I don't. It kind of is freeing. Like I've had the least anxiety in my life now because really? I have this belief where it's like, I just feel like I'm not going to save the world. I don't think that I'm going to save the fucking world. I care about my kid. I care anybody who comes into my life and my existence, like men, women, children, any race, religion, I treat them all the same. I treat everybody the same. I have respect for everybody. But I don't think I'm not going to stay up at night worrying about what's happening to somebody in another country. I can't help them. If they were in front of me, I would help them. Yeah. But I can't. And so my anxiety started to go away. And to be honest with you, since I started to remove myself a little bit from Catholicism and just be like, listen, it's something that was instilled in me and it's okay. But like when I started to realize like, listen, if I don't go to church, it's okay. If I masturbate, it's okay. I used to really adhere to the rules of Catholicism, and my life was really hard. It was really fucking hard. Really? A lot of anxiety. I had a lot of guilt.
I had that.
Because I think with Catholicism, one thing that I realized just from being a part of it was like, what I do here, Catholics feel like what you do here on earth places you in heaven. Where like for the most part, Jews don't think that. Jews are like, listen, when you die, you're in the dirt, baby. It's what it is. Be a good person, but you're in the dirt. Can't help you anymore. Where Catholics are like, oh, if you don't do this and do that, you're going to go to hell. You're going to go to purgatory. You're not going to see your family. And once I said, you know what? That's just some guy talking. I'm going to choose to live my life not talking shit about the Catholic Church and talking shit about this priest, but just saying, hey, buddy, you got your right. You say whatever you want. I'm not going to listen to that anymore. Yeah. My life has gotten, I think, I'm spiritual. I feel like, listen, if I'm treating everybody kind, I'm doing the right thing. I don't want to hurt anybody. If you dropped $1, I'd be like, hey, buddy, and give it back to you. Like, I don't want to hurt anybody. But in Catholicism, you have to do all that, but also go to church and give them money. And I used to live my life like that. ever since I got away from that, and if my mother heard this, she'd cry. But it's like, she uses religion to shield herself from the truth too. A lot of people just don't want to they don't want to check in with themselves. It's hard to fucking check in. I see ugly shit about myself all the time, but I feel like the best version of me now. I'm not selling tickets, but who gives a fuck?
When did you start reading?
I started reading, I learned to read a week ago. No, I started reading about.
Were you always a reader?
I was one of those guys, so it's weird about me. I grew up in, Brooklyn, I'd have like this, Italian mafia family. My family's very old school New York, but I have a doctorate degree in physical therapy. I know, it's fucking wild. When I showed up to the first day of doctorate level program, I'd gotten in, I swear to God, the dean of the school thought I was the janitor. That's just what she thought. Cause I came in, I was like, well, where's room 501? And she goes, where's your supplies? And I was like, well, I was told to bring this, and this. She goes, no, cleaning supplies. I swear. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, are you here for this? There was a spill in the back. We called for a janitor. And I said, no, I'm a student. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay. So then, she was like, did that white lady thing. Like, you got it. Yeah. So, my mom is highly educated. My mom's like very, sophisticated and articulate, and she was always about like, you need to go to school, you need to better yourself.
Are you an only child?
I'm an only child. Okay. But my dad's a criminal. Like, my dad was in and out of jail. Like, my parents met at a walkathon. My mom was walking in the walkathon because I think she was raising money for like breast cancer or something, like a really good thing. And my dad was doing community service on the side of the walkathon. Like, my dad was doing community service for a crime he committed on the side of the walkathon and was flirting with my mom and fucking banged her and then had me. So it was just like, there are opposite people. So I think my sound, how I sound, my inflection and my appearance is more like my dad. But my brain is closer to my mom because I grew up with my mom. My mom, she was like, you will not end up like your dad. You won't end up. And even my dad said that. My dad was like, look, listen, man. He's like, I had no, I didn't educate myself, I didn't better myself. I got with the wrong people. Like, I don't want that to happen for you. So I have my doctorate degree, and I'm happy I have it because it's like, I'm happy I took the chance to do comedy, but it's not even that I ever want to fall back because I'm very motivated to never have to do physical therapy again. But it's just for me, it's like every time I pay whatever it is, my $800 a month towards my student loan, it feels like an insurance policy. I'm paying like an insurance policy for my life because as it is, like you're never going back anywhere now with your career. You made it to the top, but when how it was 10 years ago, it's like shit, man.
Dude, For me, I had to have no exit strategy.
You had to, yeah.
I could not have anything to fall back on, and then I knew I just wouldn't give up.
Right.
I was like, it's this or nothing.
But how many years have you been like really selling tickets? Even if it's comedy club weekends. I know it's theaters now, but even when it was just like selling out the comedy club Thursday to Saturday before you even landed in that city, boom, it's sold out.
3.
It's been 3 years for that. So majority of your comedy career, it's been like, hey, papered. Man, I'm trying to sell tickets here.
Papered. Every room was papered. I remember I learned a great deal working in those Funny Bones because you'd go in and they'd be like, and you'd be like, oh, nice, sold out. And they'd be like, no. I remember this guy, Doc, was like, he ran Dayton.
Yeah.
He was like, let me show you what sold out looks like.
Yeah.
Sold out, there's going to be people facing the other direction too. Like, you understand?
Yeah.
And I was like, he's like, you'll have people in the booths and in the chairs.
Right.
And he's like, every chair being full, that's sold out. Every single chair.
Right.
That's sold out. And I went, oh. And so I was good at papering clubs because I could do great radio.
Right.
Like you probably missed the day when radio mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't, but it does in some markets.
Right.
Like DC, it still very much matters.
Right.
Florida, Tampa, it still very much matters.
Right. But I feel like I'm sure it matters like acutely to get the ticket sales, but I feel like I don't know any person right now. I can't think of one comedian who's selling out tickets, who's newly selling out, who doesn't have a kick-ass podcast. It's the only way. I mean, do you feel like if you remove your podcast, do you feel like you're selling the way you're selling?
No.
No,
not at all.
Because Birth of Conqueror was a great show, but it didn't produce.
Travel Channel didn't move the dial for me at all.
So everybody knew who you were, but people weren't coming to your shows.
The biggest difference in my career was, I think the machine story I did what Sebastian did, where I cut up my Showtime special,
millions
and
of
put it
views
everywhere.
Yeah,
and
you did it. They told you did it like against them. Like,
yeah,
like you weren't supposed to do that.
I almost got sued by them.
why? But I don't understand that. Like, why? Like, doesn't it just bring them value? I mean, it was clear as day where you shot it. You know, the logo was still there.
No, they did not see it that way.
Stupid.
Someone snitched on me. I don't know who it was.
Let's fucking find them. You want me to find them?
I think
Call
I know.
Tony D.
I think I know who it is, but
it's Joe Coy.
it definitely wasn't
no,
Joe.
Just because he's standing ovation.
Someone snitched on me and said, went to Showtime and was like, "Hey, I want to put my special online, like Bert." And they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Bert's got like his whole special on his Facebook page."
Right.
And they're like, "What do you mean?" I had 39 minutes of my special on my Facebook page.
And it was getting tons of views.
Millions of views.
And on Showtime, it had kind of just come and went? Or did it do well on Showtime as well?
Did not do well at Showtime.
It just came and went.
It just came and went. I remember them saying that, maybe you should wear a shirt. We think that would be a big reason someone would change the channel.
I don't want to see you with a shirt on.
Yeah, but no one had seen me do this before, and they were like, "I think it's a bad idea."
Yeah.
They're like, "You're not really attractive shirtless."
No, but you are though. See, that's the thing about you is you're like, see, I'm one of those guys, like people always think like I'm in good shape, but I mean, if I took off my shirt right now, I look like the melting candle from Beauty and the Beast. I just have like full tits. The name of my special is size 38 waist.
Yeah.
Because I just have bitch hips. But like, so it's for me, it's like if I took off my shirt, girls would be like, ooh, or people would be like, oh, I thought it was gonna be something different. But you, it's like you just know what it is. You're the guy, you drink, you have a good time, you're not expecting anything, and you just look like a fucking man.
It was a odd branding choice. It was like, because they were like, I think it's a bad idea, and then I did it, and then the machine story went viral, and then immediately it was like this recognition of, oh, the guy with his shirt off, I know that guy.
Yeah.
And like people would come up to me at the airport and be like, I know you, and I'd be like, no, and they'd be like, no, I know you, and then they go, oh, I didn't recognize you with your shirt on. But
now you get stopped. Now they know your name. It's different now. Now it's your Bert Kreischer. They know who it is. It's different.
The Netflix special, I think, once again, shirtless was really good because it was an identifiable characteristic.
Right.
It's like if you wore the same thing on stage every time, they were like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
The shirtless guy.
Yeah. You're the only guy whose comedy, when you're doing it and you laugh at your own stuff, it doesn't bother me. It makes me laugh harder.
Dude,
I just love it. Don't ever lose that.
I have a joke. I'll about that on this show, on this special I'm doing. But yeah, and so podcasting really changed the game. Rogan, being friends with Joe and getting on his podcast early kind of established all of our podcasts as like one of the places they could go. Right. So, and Joe was very, still is. Joe is the most generous.
He seems like
really kind of like, hey man, there's enough for everyone kind of guy. Yeah. Like he's a dude. I could go on and on about Joe. I've done it a million times. He's the biggest one change in my career was meeting him because he's told me how to tell the machine story. It's my most identifiable bit. Yeah. He was like, you have to tell it on stage, and literally.
So you weren't even telling it on stage at one point,
dude. I told it on Loveline. I told it on Elliot in the Morning. I told it on my buddy Cowhead's show. I told it a couple different places, and then I told it in Philly at WDBE. And everyone that I told, they were like, we play that story, and it's like the most requested story. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I did Rogan's podcast, and we talked about the Tracy Morgan story. And I was like, hey, when I come back, remind me to tell you about the time I got involved with the Russian mafia. And he was like, what? And I think I went back like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. And he's like, dude, everyone's hitting me up for this Russian mafia story. So I tell the story. Joe loves it. He's like, you got to tell that on stage. And he goes, no, do you tell it on stage? I go, no. Yeah. And he goes, you got to tell it on stage. I go, it's not a stage story, Joe. Yeah. And he's like, listen, everyone listening right now. Now, by the way, I don't know what his subscribership was then. Right. But it was not what it is today. Right. But he was like, everyone listening right now, when Bert goes on stage, chant the machine until he tells the story. Keep yelling the machine until he tells the story. Force him to tell it. And he goes, I'm telling you, this story will change your career. And I was like, I just talked to him about this the other day. And I was like, okay. So I go to Columbus that next week and I sell tickets.
At the Funny Bone?
Yeah.
Or the theater?
At the Funny Bone.
Funny Bone.
I remember this.
This is 3 years ago only? 3-4 years ago?
No. This
is longer.
This is, I'll tell you right now. I did this on Laughable the other day.
Oh yeah. So yeah, fucking love it.
Laughable, you can find all the podcasts people I've ever been on, and I did my name.
That's great, Laughable.
and I did my name, and I saw when I can tell you what year this was.
Yeah, because I feel like it's not so long ago, but it's also not, it's not like it was yesterday.
I mean, I've been on Rogan a bunch, I guess.
Because I feel like comedians, we've all known who you are for years and years and years, but now it's a totally different level. Now the world knows.
Guest on, here we go, oldest first, here we go. This was in 2011.
2011 is when you told that story and started to sell, for the first time in your career, sell tickets.
April 5th, 2011.
It's when you started to
I had not ever sold a ticket.
It would just be brutal, like 2000, like bare minimum payment weekends kind of thing.
Yeah, I was probably making 2,000 a weekend, 3,000 a weekend.
Staying in the condo, all that shit.
No, not staying in the condo, but I would get bonuses. In 2011, I was getting bonuses. I was at the Columbus Funny Bone. I did 7 shows, 1 Thursday, 2 Friday, 3 Saturday, 1 Sunday.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that 7?
That's 7.
Hold on, my daughter's calling.
Yeah. All right, pick it up.
Give me a second. What's up, baby?
Hey, the burger place opened.
Oh, for real?
Yes. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, my Lord.
Awesome. I'm doing a podcast. I'll call you back, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye. Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Shit. So, 2011. Tom and Christina come over to my house that Monday, right? So, I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What's that? 3, 2, 7 shows.
Right.
I go in to do radio, and people are calling Dave and Jimmy, and they're like, "Oh, is this the machine?" And Dave and Jimmy are like, "What's the machine?" I go, "It's a story I told on Rogan."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What is it?" So I tell it there, and then I go to the show that night on Thursday, and it's sold out, but not sold out, but it's half papered.
Right.
Like it's sold. There are a lot of sold tickets, but it's papered.
Right.
But my bonus was papered or sold. It didn't matter if it was sold out. It didn't matter. It just so I go up Thursday. And I start doing my act. I get towards the end, and the guy goes, "The machine." They're all yelling, "The machine."
Wow.
And I go, "Guys, I'm not going to tell it." And then this kid in the front row goes, "Hey, man," like loud enough for the whole room the whole room to hear. He goes, "Hey, man, we understand that it won't be good yet, but in order for it to get good, Bert, you got to tell it."
And this guy just says this to you.
Says this.
It's like your own mind speaking to you.
And he goes, and the guys were in the back. They're like, "Yeah, man, don't worry, we're here for you, man. Just tell it. You got to tell it. Rogan said you got to tell it, and trust me, it's okay if it's bad." So I go,
"Okay." Gave you confidence right there.
So I tell it, and it didn't do well, but they clapped, and then I got done, and they're like, "Cool." And the next show, same thing. They're yelling, "The machine, the machine." I go, "Guys, I'm not." And another guy goes, "Come on, man. Rogan said you got to tell it. You got to tell it." And so I'm like, "Fuck." So I tell it again, and then I go back, and Dave Stroop's like, "That's a great story." I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "So you're going to tell that every show?" And I go, "No." And so in the third show Saturday that week, I didn't tell it.
Right.
And Dave comes back and he goes, "Hey man, I got some guys in the bar that are a little upset. They drove all the way from ... and you didn't tell the machine story. They're waiting for you out there. They want to hear the machine story."
What?
So I go out to the bar. This is like the first week telling. I go out to the bar and I tell it to these guys. And they
it's
go,
like a 20-minute story, right?
At the time it's probably a 15, 17-minute story.
Wow.
So I go to these guys and they go, "Hey man, Joe said you have to tell that, man. You got to tell it. Bert, if you want to be a better comic, you got to tell it. Don't worry about killing, but like you got to, better comics challenge themselves." Like it's mantra, right? They were legit comedy fans.
Right.
So then I was like, fuck it, I'm telling it every show. So I told it every show. I sold out all 7 shows, comped and sold. And Dave Stroop's like, you get, I had really big bonuses then.
Yeah.
And he's like, you get $1,000 per bonus.
Woo.
For sold out. And I went, "Really?" And he goes, "But he didn't tell me why I sold." He goes, "Do you want it in cash or in a check?" I go, "I'll just take it in cash." So he gave me $7,000 in cash. Tom and Christina came over and I was making it rain on my daughters. But yeah, that.
And how many years into comedy was that? How long were you doing stand-up professionally? Or just...
I'm trying to think. So 2011, 2019 right now. That was 8 years ago?
8 years ago.
8 years ago, I was 37.
Wow.
I was 37, 38.
So you were doing comedy for a while, and you just fucking...
I started comedy in when I was 26.
Yeah.
20 years ago, so 99.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why, like, it's like as a comedians, like sometimes when I see a comedian who's very young age wise, it's like he or she may be funny, maybe not, but they're just ultimately going to get better. Like anybody who I sit and laugh hard, they've been through some shit, man. Dude. Like I'm 34, I've been doing comedy 8-9 years yet, and I feel honored for things that I've been able to get, but I feel like I'm nowhere near where I need to be yet.
Dude, at 34,
I gotta keep working.
At 34, I was headlining. I had 2 kids. And I remember someone saying to me, "You're the youngest headliner in the chain, in the franchise."
Wow.
And I went, "Huh?"
Yeah.
And I looked at the lineups and I was like, yeah. It was me. Steve Byrne was like 34. Yeah. But like we were the youngest. Segura wasn't headlining yet. He was still like featuring. He was probably 28 at the time. Right. But that was maybe 26.
Wow.
But yeah, that 34 was... It was a good fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I have an hour special coming out, Comedy Central, size 38 waist, Friday, January 18th, and I'm proud of it. I'm certainly proud of it, but I just feel like, and it's the last 10 years of my work, so it's great, but I feel like 10 years from now, I'll look back at this special, I'm hoping, and be like, oh wow, remember when I used to do that shit?
That special right there, Comfortably Dumb. If I went through and told you those jokes, I'm not embarrassed of them, but I go, that was me trying to write for what was selling at the time. Right. There's a book by called The Art of War, or The War of Art.
I think The Art of War.
Or The Art of War.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I've heard of it.
And it talks about a hack, and I definitely didn't think I was a hack back then, but I look at that set, and there are 3 things that I did right.
Right.
And I went, oh, that's that I'm still doing.
Right.
But the most of it was like, you ever get pulled over by a cop? You ever get, you ever get drunk and get attacked? It was all fun boy jokes.
Right.
And now I look at the special I put out on Showtime and I go, that was closer to it. Yeah. And then I look at the special I just put out and I go, okay, we're getting better. Yeah. Now I look at the material I'm writing now. I'm like, God damn it, man.
It's getting good.
I wish I could have done this back then.
It's getting good now. Yeah. I feel the same way. And I believe you, because it's just like these natural progressions. I mean, even comedians who Bill Burr say, I bet you he doesn't like his first special as much as he likes his last. Yeah. It's just keep getting fucking better at shit.
Have you seen his new material?
Yes. It's unbelievable.
Dude.
It's he is, I can't explain to you like how fucking much, because first of all, I've been around, I don't know him well, but he seems like just a guy, like you really got to know him, because there's been times like I've tried, like you're just such an easy guy to talk to. It's just easier. Like, I remember one time you barely even knew me a year ago, and you like bought me drinks at the comedy store. You're just like the coolest guy. It's like everybody, if you don't like you, then it's like you're the problem. It's like everybody likes Bert, but like with Bill, I feel like I was around him and I was like, hey, what's up? I'm a comedian, a big fan. And he just like looks at you, fuck out of here. And it's just like, there's like that anger that he has that I laugh so fucking hard at.
Dude.
As just an audience member. It's like how he is in person. It's like, I like that about him, where it's like, hey, he's like, listen, dude, like, I don't give a fuck, man. He's like, I'm in my own world. I'm writing my jokes. I'm doing my thing. He's intense. Like, he's probably not the best hang, but I don't care. I just love watching him.
He's a fun hang.
He's a fun hang
because what he does is his brain never stops.
Right.
So like, if you like his stand-up, hanging out with him is awesome.
Yeah.
Because he's literally like, just not working on bits, but working his brain. Yeah. So that like,
no, I'm sure that I meant like fun hang, like in the sense like you are like, you're just a fun guy.
No, he's not. He's an intense hang.
Like we can laugh, like if you don't agree with me, be like, whatever, agree to disagree. But he'll be like, he'll go at it. If I'm like, listen, I think Babe Ruth was better than Mickey Mantle, and he goes opposite. Fuck, and it's like, so that's what I meant. But I'm sure it's amazing.
And if you say something at all woke, he's gonna call you on it.
Yeah, I said
something toxic masculinity the other day, and he goes, "Dude, what the fuck are you even saying that for?"
See, that's the only. I love being in New York, and I just feel like, and I have so many friends in New York, but I feel like guys that are really fucking doing it, all you guys are out here. Like all the things that are blowing people up, you guys are out here.
No, but you guys have a generation that is gonna fucking shake things up pretty aggressively. Yeah. Because all you guys are like young. You guys are. I would argue that New York's got better guys writing more jokes.
Right.
Per. Like just more jokes. I think we're we're all working on hours out here. It's like you guys are working on hours, but you're also just fucking tearing through material.
Yeah. That's true. Well, you know what? There's so much.
You guys, you, Giannis, Sam, Mark, Joe.
Yeah. Michelle Wolf. Yeah.
Fucking Mulaney's out there.
Mulaney, Michael Che.
There's a whole. I didn't mean to leave out anyone.
Oh yeah. Well, there's plenty of
There's
us,
plenty, but you guys all have and it's a younger scene than our scene.
It is.
Our scene is all 45-year-old to 50-year-old dudes.
Yeah. See, no, at the Comedy Cellar, it's
all like 30s.
We're in our 30s. Some of us late 20s. Some of those guys late 20s. Yeah, I can see that. I think there's a lot of, if you just want to get on stage, yeah, I mean, we could do 50 shows in a week in New York. I just feel like
we can do 3 in a night.
Geographically, yeah, see like 3, like,
and that's a lot. You're doing the
and that's
OR.
A lot, yeah.
You're gonna have to run over to the Improv at one point.
Now, see, Comedy Cellar's got 3 rooms running simultaneously. So on the weekends, if Esty, the booker of the Comedy Cellar, really books you hard, I mean, you could do 12 shows in one night and not even break a sweat because they're all there. There's just 3 shows running simultaneously. They do 4 different shows a weekend, a night on the weekends, and you're just going around the corner. People do it all the time. So you just now you can go on autopilot and just do the same set and try to get it for cash, and that's up to you. But if you want to work on shit, you have the opportunity if you're a Comedy Cellar comic.
That's great.
Which is great. So but I just feel like especially because I mentioned so much about podcasting, it's like you, Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Segura, all you guys are out here. The podcasts that we have back home some of them are big. Ari's podcast Ari's out there, and guys we fucked. But I feel like it feels like, because a lot of people say, at least back in New York, oh, we don't need to go to LA anymore. We got our whole thing here, and that's true. New York is a lot bigger than it was 10 years ago in entertainment. But you can't make it in entertainment. You have to come out here. Yeah, at some point you have to come out here.
LA's a mandate at some point.
You have to.
You can't just go fuck LA. You know what you guys had that there was a generation just a little older than me, not really, but I think a lot of the guys our age, and I'm a little younger than that, but our age guys, I think they all died in New York.
Yeah, like Geraldo,
Patrice.
Yeah,
I think, and they had. We were just talking about this the other day with someone. We were talking about how your city, LA or New York, you need like a leader, like a guy, the guy that's famous, that helps everyone out,
right?
And for you guys, it's Rogan. For you guys, it was Colin Quinn for a long time.
Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn kind of put the stamp on everyone
with his Comedy Central show.
With his and it was like it was huge.
So Colin Quinn is. It's like 5 years ago, I knew Colin Quinn as just a fan, like everybody knew who he was. But now, like, Colin Quinn is like a personal friend of mine, and it's not like he's friends with everybody, but like we talk and hang out weekly because I'm from Brooklyn, he's from Brooklyn. We he took this liking to me, and Colin Quinn has given me like better advice and just like more confidence than any other person in my life has ever. Like when I speak to Colin, like, I mean, I'm going to his wedding. I'm like a part of Colin's life now.
He's great.
And I just feel like my career and even if my career hasn't changed, my comedy has gotten so much better, and it's because of Colin. Because
just hanging out with a guy like Colin,
he won't let you go unchecked. Like if he sees you at the Comedy Cellar and he doesn't like a joke you're doing, or he'll come up and be like, "Hey, Chris, this doesn't work because of this, or try this or try that," and he's on you because he doesn't have any kids, and he's told me, he's like, "I want to see you," meaning me. He's like, "I want to see you really make it. I really want to." He's like, "Because I like you, and like we're like." Just buddies. I mean, I was born August 26, 1984. Colin Quinn started comedy July 26, 1984. So Colin Quinn started comedy a month before I was born. So he's been doing comedy my whole life. So when he says something to me, I really listen. And he doesn't have as a powerful podcast as say like a Rogan does or like you guys do. But I agree with you. He is our leader in the sense that he helps us get so much better because he's constantly like, hey, try this, try that.
Well, that's Rogan's work ethic is Rogan runs at a stallion's pace.
Right.
But literally, how stallions just don't get out of breath.
Right.
And so in order to keep pace with him, which I think like Andrew Santino, Theo Vaughn, Brendan Shaw, I think Callan, myself, Segura are more like, we'll stop by the store, but these guys are there. They're fucking every single night, and Rogan's there every single night.
Right.
And I think it's that guy that keeps you honest and makes you work harder, you know?
Yeah. And you need a guy like that because look, the truth of the matter is this, man. Like everybody's got a podcast now. Everybody's doing something. It's like it ain't that easy to sell tickets anymore. People have a lot of options.
Yeah.
A lot of options. It's like, so you need somebody like that to keep you honest and to keep you motivated, or else you're just going to fail. I mean, if you don't adapt to these times, you're just going to start to see a lot of our peers just fail because there's no room for anybody anymore. We got a lot of people here.
I think, and it's also one of those things that Rogan kind of put us all over on by getting us to start our podcast and then being like, hey, you gotta be doing that every week, man. You gotta be do your podcast every week. You gotta add video to it. You gotta add video to it,
and it's gotta be good quality video.
I mean, I tell this story all the time. I remember when Bill and Joe told me I was backstage at the store,
right?
And they were like, "You need to quit your TV show. Like that's not that good, and you're a better comic than you are." Like I remember Bill going, "What are you like? What are you gonna be like a famous guy? Do you want to be like a famous guy?"
Yeah.
Like a host? Like, huh?
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're a comic, man. Dude, fucking drop the TV show." And I remember Bill and Joe going, "What's your nut? Like, what do you got to make a year?" And I told them, and they're like, "You could do that with stand-up and podcasting." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, they're like, yeah, if you focus on stand-up.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And then serendipitously, I was fired from Travel Channel the next month.
Wow.
And I was like, I'll take you guys up on that.
Yeah.
And so I just fucking went to the store every single chance I had.
Yeah.
Still trying to be a dad, but like going to the store every Tuesday, trying to do OR and the main room and belly room on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Do Tuesday and
skills,
Wednesday.
man.
Hidden by the improv on Wednesday. And then and going on the road as much as possible. And then I became obsessive about that special about the next hour and touring. Dude, I'm I think podcasts also, we have so much free time here.
Yeah.
Like a lot of us, we can only do a couple spots. So I think podcasting was like, well, fuck, you got to.
And it's also like, I feel like podcasting too, it's like, your fans really know you. And now hopefully like they got to know me today. It's like in a 5-minute late night set.
My fans are going to absolutely love you.
Yeah? Good.
Am I right about that, Halston?
Good.
You have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea.
Oh, great.
Because I
feel like we weren't being as funny towards the later half, but you said your ribs were hurt, and I was like, let's just get serious.
No. It was great.
We could start talking about chlamydia again, whatever you want.
Dude, my fans are going to fucking love you.
Oh, good.
There's no question about it.
Oh, good.
It's you can tell when you do a podcast, you're like, oh, this one's gonna be good. And when I was in wincing in pain,
because I thought you just laughed at everybody. That's okay. Good.
No. I just did a podcast earlier today, and I didn't laugh once.
It was just a zero. Got heated. That'll be a good episode too.
I don't know if it will be.
Oh, I hope I want to hear that one.
I'll tell you who it is later.
Oh, great.
And you'll go, oh, of course.
Oh, of course, fucking idiot.
Would you move out here?
I would only if I could bring my daughter. I can't. I know parents who wanna, who say, I need to go out there and it's about my career and it'll better my child to be away from them. Fine, no problems. But I wouldn't be happy if my daughter was on the other side of the country. So if I got an opportunity out here.
Yeah.
So like right now in New York, I have my hour special, and then I signed like an overall deal with Comedy Central. So I'm developing a cartoon about my life with them, and it's all in New York. So if those things get on and take off, then I could stay in New York. But if it misses again, I want this career to work. So I wouldn't mind raising my daughter in LA.
Would you move the mom out too?
I would move her mom's career is very flexible right now. She's like, a personal trainer. She teaches Zumba. It's like the most stereotypical Puerto Rican thing to do. I'll be doing Zumba and shit. That's what I do. And she has a tattoo in her tit. It's so fucking great. She's such like, you would see her and be like, that girl's so hot, but like obviously don't get her pregnant. And I just obviously got her pregnant. Just immediately.
That girl's so hot, obviously don't get her pregnant.
It's like my boy's like, well, obviously pull out. She has a tattoo in her tit. When I was like, nope. Sign me up for life.
Did you come inside her?
Yes. The first time. I just pounded her and then I blasted my whole load inside her. And I was like, was that bad? And she's like, well. Dude, I fucking blasted my whole nut inside her. I'm out of my mind. I didn't even know her. I knew her for an hour. She was just so hot. She was so hot. I just couldn't. I love Puerto Rican girls. I fucking love Spanish women. And she was just my type, and she was beautiful. And we were just making out. And she was riding me, and I just let it fly, baby. I just let it fly.
They say it's hard to get people pregnant, right?
Yeah. I was like, well, you're not pregnant, right? And she was like, I mean, it all went inside me. And I forgot to tell you this part. So we took a plan B, right? She wanted to take a plan B, and I saw her take it. It wasn't one of those things like, oh, I'll take it when I get home. She took it in front of me, and like, because she didn't want a kid either.
Yeah.
So she still gets pregnant, whole thing. So I told the OBGYN when Jasmine was 3-4 months pregnant, I told the OBGYN like, hey, like we had taken a plan B, like just want to make sure, and she was like, oh wow. She's like, and you still got her pregnant? I said, yeah. She said, oh, your sperm must travel fast then. And I said, yeah, it's interesting you say that. I said, because I had gotten a girl pregnant 4 years ago, my girlfriend, and she had also taken a plan B, and she was on birth control, and she got pregnant. And she said, well, that's interesting. And I said, yeah. She said, have you ever gotten your sperm checked? And I said, what do you mean? She said, have you ever gotten it analyzed? And I said, I have not. She goes, oh, well, you should go do that. Go take a look at that because, there's just, you should look at it. So I said, okay. So I went and I told them and they said, okay. So I looked at you ever done this?
No.
I just jerked off into a cup and and then gave it to them. And then 2 weeks go by, they call me, so your results are in, come in, the doctors want to talk to you, which I said is fine, normal. I wasn't nervous at all. I go in, waiting, they put me in the office, 3 doctors come in, one of them with a clipboard. So I was like, oh boy. And they're standing, nobody's sitting, they're standing.
Yeah.
And then they said, oh, your results are in. I said, is everything okay? Because then I got nervous. They're like, everything's fine. Like, we just want to ask you a couple of questions. I said, okay. So they said, where were you born? And I said, I was born at St. John's Hospital, Queens, New York. They said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I mean, that's what my mom told me. And they said, okay. They said, well, can you verify that with your mom? And I was like, sure. And they were waiting. They're like, no, right now. And I was like, okay. So I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, where was I born? She was like, St. John's Hospital, Queens, New York. And I was like, you promise? And she was like, yes, I promise. Like, I have your birth. Of course. So I said, okay. So I said, she says it's 100% verified. She has proof of it, birth certificate. I said, okay. They said, well, you have 3 times the amount of sperm in every, whatever word they used. I mean, they were saying load, but whatever they used, like a science term. They're like, in every load, they were like, you have 3 times the amount of sperm as a normal man. They said, and we only see stuff like that in men who are born near nuclear reactors. Said, so we just wanted to know if you were born anywhere near Chernobyl or any Russian nation that may have a nuclear reactor, if you were adopted, because then we see it and it makes sense. And I was like, no, I was born in New York. And they were like, okay. They were like, well, then we want to do some tests. So what they found out was this thing is called my Cowper's gland, and it's what basically makes your sperm and shoots it out. I have a very big Cowper's gland, just genetic. Because at first they thought, like, is there a tumor? Is there something going on? Why are you producing so much sperm? They wanted to get to the bottom of it. So they're like, you have a very big Cowper's gland. So what my kind of thing is, what my catch-22 is, the doctor said to me like this, if you want to get, if you're with a woman, your wife or whatever, and she wants to get pregnant, you're the guy. You're the guy because you shoot out a lot of sperm. I got a big gun. The issue with that is you take a long time to fill up. So if you're looking for just a few sex with a woman casually, you're not a guy who can do sex 2 to 3 times a night, and this thing it'll get longer as you get older. So that was 4 years ago. I could have sex maybe once every 2 days. Now, if I have sex, I can't have sex again for about 5 days. I'm about a 5-day fill up right now.
Why?
Yeah, because my Cowper's gland is so big, and motility and your sperm as you get older just starts to get less and less. But in 5 days. So I gotta wait. I can have sex right now, or like if I'm gonna have sex with a woman, I can't jerk off for about 2 weeks. I just can't. I have to be fully loaded. So or else it's just I'm not gonna be. There's gonna be nothing. It's not gonna work. So if I want to have sex with a girl, I have to wait 5 days. And if she wants to get pregnant, the doctor told me this. He said if she is midway through her period. Midway through her ovulating cycle, with the egg is at the lowest, and you're have a full Cowper's gland 5-7 days after your previous ejaculation. He told me I have an 80 to 90% chance of getting the woman pregnant.
Really?
And he said those odds will stay somewhere like that until I'm in my 40s. So he said if you want to have children, you're a guy, obviously barring any injury or anything like that, you're a guy who can get women pregnant. So you're the guy. He said, but if you're looking for casual sex, you're not the guy.
So you just don't jerk off anymore?
No, I dude, I'm telling you, man, I don't. I think I banged out a few days ago. I banged one out. I jerked off, and then I'm not even horny. Like I'm not. That's what I'm saying, man. I have sex with him, but I can fall in love with a guy because I just got what am I going to talk to you about? I can't have sex with you anymore. So it's like it's what it is. But like you, we've been talking. I don't even know where the time has fucking went. If I had a Pinot Grigio and a Clarendon D right now, I'd suck your dick. Dude, anytime I take an antihistamine and have alcohol, I get fucking ripped. If you want to see me get like shit faced and fall in your pool, give me an antihistamine and a white wine. There's this stuff called maca, right? Oh yeah.
And so we were in Vancouver the other day.
Yeah.
And me and Jesus and my wife we went to go buy shoes for one. Because my wife told me my shoes were distracting on stage. And I was
such
like,
a wife thing to say.
I go, why would you tell me that now? She goes, they're just distracting. You need new shoes.
I listened to her too, yeah.
So we go to get shoes, and then we're like, hey, you want to get something to eat? And Jesus is like, there's a health food store right next door. Let's go get some green teas.
Yeah.
We'll get some green juices, and we'll feel healthy. I said, great. So I said to the guy, we're waiting for him to make our juices. I go, hey, what's something in here that I don't know about that's really great?
Yeah.
He goes, maca. I said, really? He goes, yeah, get maca. I said, really? He's definitely.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So I grabbed some maca. I put it on the counter. He rings it up. I pay for it. And he's like, you're going to love this stuff. I go, really? He goes, yeah. It gets you so horny. I go, I don't need that.
You're in public.
I don't need to take something on the road that just gets me horny as fuck. That's the last thing I need. I need something to kill it.
Yeah.
But it's like, what a weird thing to sell another man.
I'm gonna get you so fucking horny. Were you dying laughing when he said that?
It was me and Jesus, and he's telling me that I need something to get me horny. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm looking for energy, asshole. So I have a bunch of maca.
You just get horned up.
I'm gonna put it in a shake for my wife tonight and see if it works.
See if it work. Just fucking bang out. Yeah, dude. How do your ribs feel? You all right?
I gotta fucking go get a massage now. I don't know if the massage is good though.
Well, it depends. Do you know what ribs are broken by any chance?
I don't know. I think
are you positive they are broken? You got an X-ray and everything?
I'm not positive.
Okay, you're not positive.
I'm not positive. I in all honesty, so what happens? I landed on my fist. I was snowboarding,
right?
And I landed on my fist. I knocked the wind out of myself.
Okay.
And so then they felt fine. And then Georgia, my oldest, had to learn how to slide for softball. So I took her in the front. I made a slip inside, and I slid a few times to teach her. And I feel like that kind of fucked up my ribs, and it kind of jarred them. The next morning I woke up and my tit hurt, and I went on a long walk. I came home, flew out, woke up that morning to go on the road, and my chest, like I was short of breath, my chest was hurting. And so like I was just like, it was fine. And then I woke up the next day on the road, and performing, it was painful as fuck.
Really?
There was searing pain in my back and in my tit.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it hurt so bad.
Do you feel like the pain has gotten less now, or is it still the same?
It's gotten less.
Are you taking pain medication? Is that why, or
I've been taking Advil.
Okay,
but I didn't take it today. But it's getting less. I couldn't get up out of bed. It felt like there was literally a pain inside my chest,
right?
Like some sort of a hernia,
and where like any position would not alleviate the pain. You were just in pain.
No. No, if I laid in the bed, it was fine.
Right.
But like we went to Staples, and
right.
I was in so much pain that I was like, I need to get a massage now.
Right.
And then Leanne just kind of, it was my back knotted up.
Right.
So then the next day I felt better, and they had this sports therapist come in and give me a really aggressive massage on my back and on my tit.
Right.
And it made it worse.
Yeah.
And so then,
be careful, because sometimes with broken ribs, like the best course of medicine is to do truly nothing, not even touch them. So just let the masseuse know what it is. Because sometimes when you break your ribs or hurt yourself at all, different muscles around your body get tight to prevent, because they don't want any more damage to the part that's damaged. So that's why muscles get tight.
That's what's happening in my back, I think.
So then maybe that would be okay, but you just be careful. And if you feel like intense pain, Like not massage pain where it's like that hurts a little bit, but it's a good hurt. Like I'm talking about like sharp, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 sharp pain. Stop immediately.
Really?
You have to stop immediately. Yeah, broken ribs. It's not that it's dangerous, but they won't heal unless like nothing can happen. Like you can't touch them. They just have to get blood supply and they have to heal on their own.
Yeah, I'm going snowboarding in like 2 weeks with Ari.
Yeah,
and so I just want him to get healed to the point. Like I went snowboarding the very next day, which probably wasn't a great idea.
I mean, again, we're fucking living our lives. I told you, we're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Why do you want to be here till you're 90? Fucking go out.
I wouldn't mind being here till I was 90.
Till you're 90?
Yeah, I'd love to see what that looks like.
I guess, yeah.
Do you know how racist I'll be when I'm 90?
Oh my God, that'd be great. I would love to see 90-year-old Bert.
Just anything I'd say is going to be so out of bounds of what you could say. My friend was Italian. Whoa, 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 whoa. We don't recognize different nomenclatures of ethnicity.
Yeah.
Oh my, what were you born in the 80s? In the 70s?
Yeah.
I bet you probably say you're straight. I do. You're not straight. You're non-binary confrontational figuration.
You'd be like, shut up, you homo.
God damn.
They would blow their brains out. Ah!
Dude, this has been a great fucking episode,
brother.
man. Thank you so much. How much have we done?
Over an hour and a half.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is that too long? Is that good?
That's perfect. Yeah,
Perfect.
that's the perfect spot for these podcasts.
Hour and a half, hour 40, yeah.
Hour 40. I've done long ones and people just, I think.
They start to tune out at the end.
I think, it's got to be over an hour. That's the mandate with my fans. Because they go, if it's not over an hour, they must have not gotten along.
What are we doing? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But the special airs.
Friday, January 18th. I don't know when this comes out.
What's today?
Today's Tuesday, January.
50th?
Yeah.
So it's this weekend?
Yeah.
It comes out today.
Comes out today?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Post this today?
Next week.
No. Well, the special comes out. Can we get it up tonight? Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll post it now.
Friday, January 18th.
That's this Friday.
That's this Friday.
Yeah, we'll post it today.
Comedy Central, size 38 waist, 11 p.m. And then you could stream it on their app or comedycentral.com. And my podcast, History Hyenas. Check it out. We got an Instagram. It's fucking wild.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you so much, man. This has really been
You're
dope.
a great guy.
Love you, brother.
I love, dude, this is the best part of this, having this podcast.
Yeah.
Is getting to hang out with you. Like, just hang out.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the hardest I've laughed at the beginning of a podcast.
Beautiful. I'm happy, man.
Ever.
I'm going to kiss you on the lips after this.
Let's do it in front of my wife, see if it turns her on.
Yeah.
Pour some maca in her.
Put the maca on my lips.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Love.